Hello, this is Isar with the Business Growth Accelerator, and today we are going to cover critical things you need to know in order to be successful with paid ads and specifically with Facebook advertising.
Brilliant.
I spent the time trying to build a business that just absolutely failed. And it failed for a number of reasons. One, it was that I was not passionate about it. It was something that I was like, well, this is cool, let's do it. But like, I didn't realize how much effort it takes to build a business.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not passionate about it, then like, it's not worth the effort. Like, it's just, and so that was a real struggle for me. And the second thing was I had a big trouble with lead generation. Huge issue with lead generation. And that was my first introduction that like a good business can fail if you don't have lead gen. The power that the organic strategy had, it made the ads more effective, and here's why. The organic strategy tells you how the ecosystem is performing. Because ads are so analytical, you can predict how expensive something is. Like, I've worked in enough industries, I can tell you like how expensive a link click is going to be when you're marketing to this industry versus this industry. And whatever industry you're in, you can, based on that link click cost, you can estimate how expensive it's going to be to sell your product or service. Your organic strategy will tell you, like, it's kind of like, I like to call it like the EKG of the system. Like, you know, like if you were like getting like your heartbeat.
Yeah, the heartbeat.
Yeah, your heartbeat measured. So each funnel system has its own EKG. It has an organic EKG, it has a paid EKG. And the paid EKG is going to be just slightly less strong than the organic, right? Organic is always going to be stronger, higher conversions, because people have a greater trust and knowledge of who you are and what you do and the value you're going to bring to their lives and their businesses.
For sure.
Whereas with paid, people are just a little more skeptical. They're like, I'm not sure about you and what you do. And so it's going to perform a little bit less. So if you know what your system performs at organically, you can make a very accurate prediction that my paid strategy is going to perform just a little bit less well. And if I know how much a link click is going to cost, then you can see before you even try to run ads, what is going to be my cost to acquire a client. It doesn't have to be a mystery. You have to understand that Facebook is on your side. A lot of people are like, oh, Facebook it's out to get you, and Mark Zuckerberg is just going to steal your money. And here's the fact. If that was true, then no one would be running Facebook ads. Like, it is in Facebook's best interest for you to succeed, because the more you succeed with Facebook ads, the more you'll spend. And the more you spend, the more money Facebook and you make. And so it is in Facebook's best interest to have you win. And so it has set up systems to help advertisers be more effective. And I cannot even tell you, from when I started running ads till the tools that are available now to run ads successfully, I mean, holy Toledo. Like, I'm so grateful. I mean, I'm grateful that I learned back then, because like I got to learn some nuances in terms of how ads work that would be more challenging to learn now. But Facebook is like almost spoon feeding success to people, because they want people to be on their platform and they want people to be advertising. With that said, I mean, like, they also are cracking down more and more on advertisers, and it can be challenging to get ads not be put in jail. I mean, the notorious, Facebook jail. Everyone's always afraid. But there's ways to stay out of jail and to get out of jail when that shutdown happens. But Facebook is on your side. You've got to understand that Facebook is on your side. To know that Facebook is on your side, you have to know how Facebook works. And the best way to understand that is to be crystal clear on your objective and what you're trying to accomplish with your ad. A lot of people, like, I was talking to a woman this week who, like, she wanted purchases of her course, but she just kept running awareness type campaigns, traffic campaigns, reach campaigns. She's like, no one's buying. And I'm like, well, you see, Facebook puts people in buckets based on the type of action that they're likely to take. And if you keep drawing out of a different bucket than the bucket you want to be drawing out of, like, Facebook's doing exactly what you're telling it to. But people get frustrated. They're like, how come Facebook won't do what I want it to do? Facebook ads don't work. And I'm like, it's actually doing exactly what you're telling it to.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
make sure you're crystal clear on your objective. Like if you really are just trying to get your message out there, like use an awareness or consideration type objective. But if you're going for purchasers and you want people to buy, like pick conversions and set up the campaign for that purpose and for that objective. I always like to say Facebook is like a brain surgeon. It is very precise and it will do exactly what you want it to do. Once you get that right, Facebook really kind of guides you through the process of setting up the ad to make sure that you get it right. There's two kinds of marketing, right? And it's really more like advertising than marketing, but two kinds of advertising. You have intent-based marketing, which is where people are searching for something, right? So Google, YouTube, they use what's called pattern interrupt marketing, right? Like when you're watching a TV and a commercial pops up for like the latest prescription, like you're not looking for that, right? It comes to you because you're on a commercial break. It's pattern interrupt marketing. Like this isn't just new to Facebook. Like this has been happening like for a long time,
For sure.
but Facebook uses it. So with pattern interrupt marketing, people are not searching for you. So you have to market to them differently. When you're doing intent-based marketing, it is way easier to do product-based advertising because someone is searching for a particular product or service. So you can say, this is my product, this is my service, this is what it has. Are you interested? Whereas with pattern interrupt marketing, it's way more emotional, it's way more psychological. And so you have to be so much more in tune with what is going on in the head of your customer to get them to be interested in something they are not searching for to begin with. When they start a business, they need to have a dream customer. Like that is not a new concept. But what most people try to do is they think they have to have one. And so they try to cram every single possible characteristic into that one person. And it just turns into this like Frankenstein person that doesn't actually exist. So that's where you get ads that are like product-based and Frankenstein-based, where you're like, do you have shoulder pain, back pain? Does your nose itch? Do you have anxiety? Are you tired? Or do you lack energy? Or do you want more time with your family? If so, then this is the product for you. That kind of advertising like will get nobody because they're trying to like go after that Frankenstein avatar, right? Whenever I work with a client, we try to figure out, okay, what are your market segments with an S on the end? And we call them customer archetypes. What are the archetypes that we're going after? And how do we create a specific ad for each archetype? Because that's going to pull out that one type of person and speak to that one pain point or that one problem you're trying to solve. And so when someone sees that ad and they are interrupted in their tracks, they're like, oh, that's me. I need that.
Yeah.
Right. So the best way to win with ads is, especially if you're not 100% solid on how to set it up, you can do a lot of the heavy lifting by being very, very clear on who it is that you're speaking to, what problem you're trying to solve, and how you're trying to solve it. If you can nail those things in, you are doing so much of the heavy lifting and not letting Facebook spend your money to do the heavy lifting and figure it out for you.